Yo, what's up guys? Insane Gamefreak here to bring you Sengoku Basara Season 1 and Season 2 full series review. Are you ready guys? Put your guns on! So yo, what's up guys? Insane Gamefreak here. Sengoku Basara finished Season 2 like maybe 5 minutes ago. I said fuck it, we're reviewing this bitch now. Now, for those who've never fucked with Sengoku Basara, it has a lot of it's literally an anime that's based around the Sengoku period of time in Japan. Now, I am not a historian. I don't know that much about the Sengoku period, so a lot of the historical points it has, I can't really give you. But considering most anime fans don't know the historics of Japan, especially or the Sengoku period, most of you guys aren't really gonna know this anyway. So I'm kind of giving it from a fan who has no idea of anything of the Sengoku period, except for maybe some names. That's about it. That's what I'm gonna go with, and we'll just run from there. Okay, so Sengoku Basara. The best way to describe the plot is that it's a war anime. That's what it is. There's really no real plot with it. It's just you're watching two wars. You're watching two war anime. You're watching 2 seasons of war anime. Because the only difference between the seasons is that you're fighting different dudes. The big bad guy in Season 1 is Oda Nobunaga, and the big bad guy in Season 2 is Hideyoshi. I mean, in terms of plot, that's about it. Like, you're just watching a war. I mean, I guess the best thing I can explain is that in each season, these big baddies are really big baddies because they are gaining way too much power, way too fast, they're overly powerful, and no one can defeat them. So you have some indirect alliances going on. It's literally watching 2 wars. I mean, it's during the time of the Sengoku period where literally everybody's already fighting to claim everything in the land of the rising sun. And literally, those 2 characters, like Nobunaga and Hideyoshi, are literally trying to take everything way too quickly and are raping everything. So you have a whole bunch of indirect war shit going on, and that's what it is. That's really what it is. You're just trying to beat these 2 guys in these 2 seasons. There's really not that much plot. In terms of characters, there's a shit ton. I'm not gonna go through all of them. I'm gonna just go through kind of the main ones. You have in the first season the characters the first and second season, the ones you really need to pay attention to is the Tiger of Kai, Sanada Yukimura, Dante Masamune, Kojiro, which is his his right eye? Yeah, his right eye. You have Lord Kenshin, his ninja Kasagawa. Also, Tiger Kai also has a ninja named Sasuke. Saratobi Sasuke. Sana Yukimura is also under him too. Keiji, who is your resident wanderer, who seems to be friends with everybody and wants to make peace every goddamn where. And your villains, honestly. I mean, there are a lot of other characters, but a lot of them either don't show up until later or don't show up as prevalent as everyone else. Like, you have the pirate in this series who's a fucking badass and a pimp named Chosakabe, and that nigga doesn't really do anything. He shows up in like the last 2 episodes of Season 1, but he's a way more prevalent in Season 2, and I fucking love him. You have Mori, who's a fucking hermit, and the most paranoid hermit I've seen in my fucking life, who's also egotistical as shit. So, but he's just a dick, and I don't care. That's the best way to put it. And then you obviously have your big bads. I think Hideyoshi also has a second in command, who I believe his name is Tanahabe, who is like the most ridiculous of strategists. But that's dealing with Season 2. And honestly, with the way these shows work, the way these seasons work, you don't necessarily need to watch Season 1 to get Season 2. The only thing about Season 2 you're not gonna get is that they make a lot of random references to Oda Nobunaga, but you can kind of gather what the fuck they're talking about. Because they're 2 random wars. Essentially what happens is that Season 2 is a result of what happens at the end of Season 1, which isn't really a spoiler. I mean, Season 1 is Oda Nobunaga trying to take over everything. If Season 2 happens, you can kind of already defer that Oda Nobunaga failed. Essentially, Season 2 is Oda Nobunaga failed, and a new group led by Hideyoshi is coming in there and doing virtually the same shit as him. That's really all there is to it. Now, because this review isn't really focused on me describing all the characters and shit, well, I will give mild descriptions. Dante Masamune is a hothead, and he likes to fight. He has a rival with Yukimura, which doesn't make sense because Yukimura is not the lord of his like area. You know, Tiger Kai is. Tiger Kai and him have like this really funny ass relationship where they always scream each other's names like, "Your lordship, Yukimura, your lordship, Yukimura," and it's funny as hell. Honestly, when it comes to these, I mean, in terms of characters, you don't really need to see that much of other personalities. I guess the other funny one is Kasuga and Kenshin. Kenshin is like this pretty boy who's so smart and kind of so damn chill, and Kasuga just creams herself because she's a ninja who's like in love with him, and she just like creams herself every time. Like he'll do like these stupid ass poses where he'll like jump off a horse or stand up and get really close to Kasuga, be like, "My sweet Kasuga," and she'll just cream herself and like, "Oh, Lord Kenshin." It's ridiculous. Sasuke also makes fun of her for it because because Sasuke likes to fuck with her a lot. Sasuke is not the Sasuke in Naruto. He's 100 times better because he's funny as shit, and he's a badass, and he's a ninja, and the nigga actually looks like a ninja, and he makes fun of Kasuga, so I already like that nigga. I mean, but okay, look, there's not going to be that much of spoilers, if any. I'm just going to kind of talk about the seasons, their pros and their cons, because as I said, because there's not that much correlation between the seasons, besides having the same characters and different bad guys, as I said, you don't really need to watch both of them to get it. Like, all you need to know is that Oba Nobunaga fails at the end of season 1, and that's where Hideyoshi comes from. He comes from the ashes of Nobunaga, essentially. Like, there's a lot of references to Oba Nobunaga in the second season, but he doesn't actually re-show up or anything, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so the pros and cons of season 1 and season 2. Because this is a war anime, I'm gonna sit here and tell you right now, if you're not used to war anime, it's gonna take you a minute to get into the series. I say about like 4 to 5 episodes, because you gotta get used to the nature of a lot of random events happening at once, and you keeping a track of a shitload of characters, which honestly is really hard at the beginning, and it makes it really annoying to get into the groove of the show, which I think is the worst thing about Sengoku Basara. Not that it has a slow start, but it has a very confusing start. I mean, there's a shit ton of characters thrown at you all at once. You gotta remember all their names. You gotta understand the strategists and the fucking factions, where each faction is going. Because I mean, you're literally watching a war. You have like an overview head of a fucking war. It's ridiculous. It's not easy at all to keep up with these fuckers. That's why it takes so long for people to jump into the first season, unless you're really into war anime, because you have to figure everything out at once. Like what the fuck is going on? Like, it's ridiculous. Now, the pros and cons of season 1 is just I'm gonna say this right now, season 1 has a better villain. Period. I'm not gonna explain why, because that would spoil both of the villains, but just know Oba Nobunaga is a better villain than Hideyoshi. That's just my opinion. Also like that certain characters get development in certain seasons while other characters don't. Like, I like that Sasuke and Kasuga interact way more in the first season than they do in the second season. Because in the second season, they barely are around as characters, much less together. I think certain characters get, like, when I say certain characters get more development, Yukimura becomes so much of a better character throughout season 2. Mind you, it takes him a while to get him there. But I like the development with him, where he stopped being this fucking super shonen-istic like character who was like, "Your lordship, I will fight with a blazing thunder and fire and shit in my soul. Raw, throwing spears at you like a boss. Raw." Also, as a side note, the fucking fights and the animation, point blank, is awesome. Get the fucking Blu-rays for Sengoku Basara. Both seasons, it's fucking boss. Period. Animation, fights, music, go in like a motherfucker. And also, if you're a Soul Eater fan, you will be happy to know that the second season opening is actually by the same dudes who do the Soul Eater opening. I believe the name of the group is Tom Heavenly. I believe is the name of the group, so look forward to that. Now, I said that season 1's villain is better than season 2's villain. But season 2 has that side character I mentioned, Tamahabe. That motherfucker is a G. That nigga, what kills me is because it's a war anime, there's a lot of strategy involved. You know, people making alliances, people double crossing each other, people making all these plans to go and head out for certain factions that are attacking other factions and shit. Tanahabe is a fucking G for one goddamn reason, and this reason forever. Because Tanahabe, if you don't know, is the gay dude who's like wearing the purple ass mask and the gay ass lipstick, and is like, oh, little Hideyoshi and shit. This nigga is a G for one pure reason. This nigga is a fucking G, a boss at being a strategist. This dude predicts everything. Everything. It's ridiculous. It was retarded. If you watch the second season, you're literally watching him systematically go, well, he's gonna do that, so we're gonna put ourselves over here. He's doing that, so we're doing this. That, you're doing that. Oh, look, he's already done it. Fuck it. Like, this nigga was predicting everything. You couldn't fuck with Tanahabe on terms of strategy. And there's a couple things he does that makes him a dick. But he only has one downside, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, but it's kind of funny, but stupid in a way. Also, just know one of the reasons why Hideyoshi is kind of not as a cool villain as Oda Nobunaga is it has something to do with Keiji. I'm going to just say that much. Now, mind you, Keiji in the second season is cool, but the thing with Keiji in the second season revolving around Hideyoshi was bullshit because they didn't really capitalize on it. Oda Nobunaga didn't have to worry about that because this dude was a sick fuck for many reasons. I'm gonna say right now, you're gonna see a girl, a girl who's like my lord and who is the sister of Oda Nobunaga. She is the biggest example of how fucked up Oda Nobunaga is. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So final thoughts. Sengoku Basara is literally one of those kind of animes that it takes you a minute to kind of delve within the world of the whole war-based atmosphere and how to handle the episodes. And it takes you a minute to kind of click to see why it's switching around characters all willy-nilly and shit. But once you get into those characters, you fucking love those characters. So I don't think it's gonna be for everyone. But I'm saying, in terms of this anime, don't judge it until you get to at least around episode 5 or 6. If you still ain't feeling it by then, that probably means it either takes you way too long to get into a war mode, or you aren't feeling the anime. I'm not gonna sit here and say this is one of those few anime it's good, but it's kind of hard to recommend because it's like, do you like watching war? It's like, do you like watching war with a lot of shonen undertones? If you do, Sengoku Basara is the anime for you. It's one of those animes, it takes a minute. It's kind of weird to market, in my opinion. Mind you, Funimation's done a kick-ass job of it. To me, it's like, it looks so shonen that it's ridiculous, but when you actually watch it, if you're not used to watching war anime, which I doubt any anime fan is just watching straight war anime one after another and shit. And mind you, I believe this is actually the anime that kind of started this whole trend of using the Sengoku period to base their animes on. Because it seems like a shitload of those kind of animes have come out recently ever since that. And I think the only other thing in Sengoku Basara that I may review if we ever get the dub for it is the movie. But that's an entire different review. But in terms of Sengoku Basara, you can watch it online, and we'll give you the link to the Funimation site, link to buy it, and that's essentially it. So just give me your personal thoughts and opinions, and just like on the other review, if you've seen Sengoku Basara, I want you to comment to tell people who watch this review to be like, these are the other reasons you should watch Sengoku Basara if I didn't mention everything. And if anyone's wondering why the shirt changed, it's because I recorded the first half yesterday and the second half today, and it's hilarious that I say that because technically this review probably won't be out for another week and a half. Oh god. But anyways, as I said, like if you like, comment, with your thoughts and opinions, if you're gonna get the show or not, if you're gonna try it out or not, if you're gonna buy it or not, and just go in, go crazy with it. Favorite, like, comment. I do want to see the comments, for you guys who've seen it, to recommend it, give other reasons why, because that makes this more interactive, and it helps the people who haven't seen the show get a shit ton of opinions instead of just watching my review. They got a shitload of comments going, well, this is a reason he didn't mention, or this is another reason he didn't mention. That's the whole point of me doing that. Yeah, so, life's a game, playing to win, and one more thing before I go. the insane Gamefreak, anime YouTuber. Full speed ahead. Let's go!